All right, y'all. So
What
in
is
this video, we're
happening
going to talk
here?
about the 15
All
easy
right,
weight
so I'm
magnets.
using.
Let me move this
Hold on.
over. Oh no, I can't move it over.
Okay, so pause. I want to take a moment to just go over this really fast because we are in terrible, terrible, terrible economic times. Okay, and there are so many ads that are like just jumping on my IG feed, and it's like I make $200,000, a day or whatever. Okay, cool. That is great and that is possible and well within the means of everybody to do. However, individuals are not showing their income reports. So that is what really frustrates me because you're like trying to present a um a lifestyle like, oh, you just brought in that 200,000 for the month. But you're not telling me that you spent 150,000 or you spent 100, you know what I mean? Which would still be a profit. However, it's not the full picture. So I just want to take a moment to just pause and say, okay, what are we doing here? You know, is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you going to profit more from having something that is organically grown, which will take a little bit more time? Or will you profit to have paid ads? And in the short term, you'll get more sales. You'll get more followers, which is a whole nother conversation for another day. But you'll be able to reach your goals a lot quicker than if you just did it the organic route. Um, but yeah, we definitely need to take into consideration the economic climate, how much money you're going to put in versus how much money you're going to get. Um, because if you're selling a product, let's say for $17 or $7, whatever, any low ticket product means that you're going to need more volume, right, in order to meet your goals. Let me just look on my phone really fast. And let's say that you have a goal for your month, a low goal of $5,000, and you have a $17 product, you're going to need 294. Let's just round it, 295, right? Sales in order to make that. So you need to be able to factor in your ad costs of how much it's going to cost you to actually reach, not only just reach 295 people, but to convert them into sales. So let's say that we're going to have a 50% conversion rate. Typical conversion rates are around 20, maybe even less once they hit the checkout page. So that's typically around like 3 to 5. But anyway, let's just stick with 50% for the time being. That means that it's going to take you double. So that means that you're going to actually need to reach 588 people in order to get that 295 sale, right? So when you're doing your calculations for your ad, you need to say, okay, I need to put a budget aside for the 588 individuals. That way I can get at least a 50% conversion rate. Okay, if you're going to do it at 20% conversion, just change your numbers. But if you're going to do it at a 50% conversion, you need to be at that 588 mark. So, whatever that ad spend is, you need to factor that into how much you have allotted for your spend. There's no point in working with imaginary numbers. Everything needs to be real and needs to be tangible. If I need to meet a certain goal, I need to know how much it's going to cost me to reach that goal. And I need to know how many sales I'm going to expect to get out of that. I also need to factor in the cost for my email. Like MailChimp. My MailChimp is over $500 every month. Okay, that's important for me to factor in when I'm doing my costs, right? I need to factor in my SAM card. Okay, I need to factor in my proof. That's, I think, $124. I need to factor in my deadline funnels. That's $99. all of these things need to be factored in because I'm a single mother. I have a child. I have to provide groceries. I have to provide clothing. I have to pay for tuition. Like I have actual bills. So when I am looking at ad spend and what can be put out for ads, I need to know what my numbers actually are. So I just encourage you when you do see all of these highlight reels, oh, we brought in 200,000, 500,000, a million, whatever, whatever. Yes, that's great. They probably did. But what they're not also highlighting is how much it costs them to bring in that amount. You have to pay to play. It's just how much do you want to pay? How much do you want to play? You got to factor those things in. And we're just going to be real and have real conversations about this on this channel. So, anyway, drop a comment below and let me know what you think.